In this video, I'll talk about the inspiration from my new Aloha Shifters series. Have you checked out Book 1, Lure of the Dragon, yet? Location is really important to me because setting lends a certain mood and sense of possibility to a story. Having spent time on each of the major Hawaiian islands, I knew I wanted to set a series there, with a backdrop of sunny beaches, waterfalls, and swaying palm trees. For this series, though, I imagine Hawaii at night, all shadowy and a little mysterious, just like the shifters of Koa Point. My experiences in the islands gave me lots of personalities, locations, and experiences to stir into the mix. And the shifter world I already started creating with my Twin Moon and Blue Moon series played a major role in shaping this new series as well. Of course, it didn't hurt that I was addicted to Magnum PI as a kid, and several aspects of the fancy estate where my Special Forces shifters live on Maui are inspired by the TV show. Things like the red Ferrari, the beachside setting, and the scenes of TC's helicopter sweeping over turquoise stretches of the Pacific. It's easy for the imagination to change those to a dragon sweeping over the ocean, don't you think? In fact, I was originally tempted to write an all-dragon series, but I love wolves and bears too. Plus, I wanted to try something totally different, like a dragon shifter. And since I couldn't decide, I kept them all. Mixing shifter species is super fun because you can play off the quirks and differences of each shifter type. Kuz, the tiger, is always prowling around the shadows, even when he's in human form. Hunter, a bear shifter, loves honey and sleeping in late. Boone, the wolf shifter, is a carefree, easygoing guy. And while the two dragon cousins are pretty intense sometimes, they're both pretty cool in the end. And honestly, I fell in love with each and every one of them. They're tough alpha types, and though they hide their scars well, these Special Forces vets all have sensitive, even fragile souls, which make them even easier to fall for. They're a band of brothers who are doing their best to transition back to civilian life. You can read about each character and story in the behind-the-scenes post for each individual book. For now, I'll just say they came easily because they all play off one another like so many siblings in a big family. I also had a lot of fun matching each shifter hero with a certain type of home and vehicle that matches his personality. Can you guess which shifter lives in a high outcrop in a modernistic home with huge picture windows? How about which one prefers a modest bungalow set right at the high tide line? Can you guess who drives the Ferrari, the Harley, and the beat-up Jeep? See, I told you it was fun. The heroines, meanwhile, come from all walks of life, and while several are humans who are suddenly exposed to the dangers and secrets of the shifter world, others are, well, I don't want to give anything away, so let's just say they have mixed blood. And while each heroine has her flaws, fears, and weaknesses, each is also a tough, resilient woman ready to fight for survival and for true love. The jewels from the subtitle of the series, Aloha Shifters, Jewels of the Heart, were actually a late addition to the series that I made at the last steps of the outlining stage. The dragon treasure connection made my mind leap over to the idea of a long-lost hoard of connected spirit stones, each with its own powers. That brings a slight fantasy element to the series and allows the heroines to stand up to supernatural shifters in their ultimate hour of need. The spirit stones add so many facets to the series. There's the temptation for evil forces to swoop down and try to steal the spirit stones away. So right away, you get a clash of motives and values that enrich and sustain a multi-book series. The whole process of developing this new series, by the way, took a long time to develop. It took 8 months to go from the original rough idea to get to the point where I felt ready to sit down and plot a single story. But those months were priceless in terms of creating an appeal to draw you in. Well, I think so at least. I hope you agree. That's it for now. The making of the Aloha Shifters series. You can read about the making of each book in more detail in their own individual videos that will go live as each of the books do. Enjoy!